Hi, Zizaran here with another video, and this is going to be a game review of a game I have previously reviewed, Undecember. A lot of my viewers started messaging me saying that they've removed a lot of the monetization. I think at some point they said something like, oh, they removed all the monetization. I'm like, I suspect that's not true, because the game itself was quite fun when I played it, and my biggest point of contention was the monetization was really bad. Not Diablo Immortal level bad, but enough to not want to make me want to play it as a regular ARPG between leagues. But now that I'm done playing PoE for this league, I was like, you know what, let's do some other stuff until Diablo 4. So it is a cross-play game, so it is actually a mobile game as well. You can play this on your PC and then continue on your phone. We're going to cover everything, especially talk about the updated monetization, because that's the most important thing in my opinion. That being said, the game itself is actually pretty fun and has a lot of cool ideas, and some of the monetization is similar to Path of Exile, so it could be worth giving a try between leagues. However, let's walk you through all of it so you can make an informed decision. Oh no! Wait, I'm actually dying. I'm actually dying. Oh my god. There was like no place for me to stand there. Oh, I'm actually gonna die. Oh, I'm panicking. Oh my god, no. Just die. Fucking Christ. I started making a list of all the pay-to-win things that are in Undecember, and when I first played, there were quite a lot of things. The worst thing when I first played was like each character to max out the inventory was $68, right? That's very expensive. And not similar to Path of Exile, where you can't enlarge your inventory at all. That's been removed, so like these are some of the steps. I mean, like they're moving in a good direction, right? But it is also sort of disconcerting that when it feels like a company is seeing how much can they squeeze out of the player base before they actually don't want to play the game. So, you know, the fact that they even tried something like that, kind of a red flag in my book. But they've like maxed all the inventory stuff. Everybody has that for free now. And from what I could gather, you can no longer buy jewelers, fusings, or chromes, like things to increase sockets, links, or colors on items. You can't buy that in-game anymore for the dollar stuff, so that's quite good. There was a pay-to-win loot pet that you could previously only rent that is still in the game. However, in Season 3, they are making that free for everybody. And that's actually, from a lot of people in my chat that have regularly played Undecember, that it was enough for them to come back, so they're excited about that. I think that's worth mentioning. And if we go in-game, it's basically something like 50 or 52 diamonds is £1. So this one is like 14, like ish, right? Ballpark, unless I did math wrong. So the stash tabs are like £14 each. So that's like $16, $17, something like that. But around that vicinity. Yeah, they're removing that, the petted ability, which you couldn't buy. You could only rent it, which is kind of shitty. But yeah, they are removing that. The Zodiac Walker. So this is basically a subscription, $7 every 30 days. That's fine, right? If that was a subscription fee for a game to be able to play it, I wouldn't have a problem with that, right? World of Warcraft paying $10 every month to play it, entirely fine. But for some reason, in my brain, it's worse if the game is free to play, but it has like $10 to get like the subscription. I don't know why that's worse. It probably shouldn't be, because I actually quite like subscription, monthly subscription. But for some reason, it's worse if there does exist a free-to-play package. But either way, so what this subscription gives you, gift selection chest once a day. I haven't bought anything. I've been playing entirely free-to-play, so I'm not entirely sure what the gift selection is. Accelerates alchemy crafting time by 50%. This is quite big. Maximum auction house registrations and trading post registrations. So you can only trade using money for rubies. You cannot trade for free, by the way. You do have to use money to buy things from other players. Now, you can sell things that you find in the game and then use that. The money that's being used, it has to come from somewhere, right? If no player ever spent money, nobody could trade, if that makes sense. So you could technically play the game and earn the currency, not these, but these, the red ones. But somebody has to have bought them. Free costume dice, armor dice, daily free resurrections, and then I'm not quite sure what the black market items are. I haven't actually played that much this league. I mostly wanted to see like what are the changes like in monetization, again, because I do think the game itself is quite good, and at least for me personally, very surprisingly good for a mobile game. Because still in my brain, when I think mobile, I'm like Flappy Bird, Bejeweled, etc. So seeing stuff like this, or you know, even Torchlight Infinite, that's more in line of what I think of as like mobile graphics. So pretty impressed on that part. But either way, this 28-day subscription thing, really not that bad. I think that part is fine. There is, I'm not a big fan of this, there is a battle pass that you can buy every 2 weeks. Now, I don't think this will be substantial for a veteran player or an endgame one, but for a new player, I think this is going to be pretty big. Even the first thing is adds rune slots to a skill rune to change it into 6 slots. So this is, if you're a Path of Exile player, basically the same as a Omen of the Jeweler. So this is, and getting an Omen of the Jeweler for a new PoE player would be pretty substantial, right? Getting an early 6 socket, and there's no sockets and links in this. There's only one. So it's basically the same as getting a 6 link, really. And there's like other things like that I like. It definitely will give you some power. 500,000 gold is quite substantial as well. That is a lot more than I have earned in, I think I've only played like 16 hours right now, something like that. I have 58,000 gold and I've probably used 300,000. It does seem like probably, and from what veteran players in my chat, like I don't know if they're veteran players, but they're saying they are. So let's just take them at their word. It doesn't seem very impactful for them, and they don't mind this pay to win. I just kind of want to say what it gives you, and you can make up your own mind, because some people have the opinion that pay to win is only something where it gives you power, or only something where it gives you an advantage over other people. I classify pretty much anything as pay to win. I would say stash tabs and PoE is pay to win. I try to be very, very harsh on it because I feel like monetization in gaming is getting quite a lot worse. And that's why I wanted a big focus on this video to be about monetization. Now, another thing, and I've changed my opinion on this slightly, but the auction house, you could technically drop $50,000 and buy anything on the auction house. Was what I was saying, and this is kind of disingenuous. Anyway, hard word for me. Shouldn't use it. Because there's not that much for sale. So this is sort of a dynamic problem. So let's search for every single armor, and there's no filter for like level or anything like this. And if I scroll down, so this is like gloves, helmet, boots, body armor. And that was the total amount of things for sale. So while yes, you can technically drop, to be fair, to buy anything right now, I think if you buy every single thing on the auction house, oh, this one's pretty expensive. I don't know if it's actually very good or not, but yeah, there's not actually that much you could buy. So Don the Crown pointed out that, like, yes, you can buy anything for money, but there's not that much listed. This is also seemingly the only way to trade. So there doesn't seem to be like, you know, item to item trading or anything like that. And this would be a problem the more stuff there is on the auction house. So I think this is quite bad. So I would love to see them remove something like that. Another thing is there is crafting, and especially synthesizing runes is pretty important. From what I understand, endgame players said they're pretty much always synthesizing and trying to get like runes that are like drop only, etc. You can pay to speed that up, which I'm inherently very against, even in games like Warframe and stuff like that. Anytime that you can pay to speed something up, the developers are always incentivized to make it worse when you don't speed it up, right? This is a very classic mobile game technique to elicit payment from players by like, I'm just gonna pay $2 to speed it up. It's only $2. Before you know it, you spend 50, right? And I'm very happy with the game trying to elicit like anywhere from like $30 to up to $100 from me. Like I've paid $130 from Tarkov, and I'm very happy with that. So I'm okay with anything in that price range. But whenever I feel like a game is trying to get like $500, $1,000 out of me and is very, very trying to nickel and dime me every step of the way, I get very unhappy. And again, like I said, monetization is getting so much worse in games, so I try to be very critical. Now, that being said, I have played for 20 hours now, completely free to play, and I have not even felt any modicum of needing to spend money. Some players have said, especially in previous seasons, that it was hard to play at endgame without spending money, and a lot of people was saying that it is fine to play at the endgame without spending anything except for stash tabs. Now, this is similar to Path of Exile, so I can't fault that too much. That would be very hypocritical of me. I have no problem with stash tab monetization in Undecember, nor do I in Path of Exile. But the fact that these other things exist are really, really off-putting to me, and it makes me not want to commit to stash tabs, because what if I later start feeling like, oh man, I could just put $5 in here and have a better experience, and I don't want that. If they didn't have the Battle Pass, and they didn't have the auction house and the speed up mechanics, I would probably regularly play this for 1 to 2 weeks every like PoE season, right? When it dies down a little bit, because the game has a lot of things going for it that is really cool. But I'm very, very negative about the monetization, and I wanted to get that out of the way first so that people have an idea what they're getting into. I give the game a 5 out of 10 pay to win. Another downside, I kind of want to just get all the downsides out of the way before I start talking about good things. At least I'm not a big fan of the fact that the game has, it's not there, loads of like receive all, like go collect things. This is like one of my least favorite things. This is very, very mobile. So you do have to do that every now and again. Thankfully they have a receive all button, but you do have to like go and collect things and like figure out where they are and go click on things and like, yep. And then now I'll start talking about some of the upsides and some of the really cool things about the game. Something I really want to give it a lot of praise for is its skill system. This is basically similar to what it's kind of similar to what we're going to have in Path of Exile 2. So we can go to the rune enchant and let's say this is my bursting rune knight. So I can put that in here. And they do have like auto repeat settings and stuff if you want to like do it automatic and just set like, hey, I want it to be a 6 socket. Don't stop until we get that. Gather minions. So now I can like, boom, now it's 2 socket. Now it's 2 socket. Now it's 2 socket. Now it's 2 socket. Now it's 4 socket. Now like, you know what? Maybe a 4 socket. And this is in Path of Exile terms, basically a 4 socket 4 link as well. The rune link essence, what it'll do is it'll move those. So it'll move them around. And then we have the chrome basically, which will recolor them. Now the way that works is, for example, here I have quick cast, which is a support gem. So this like changes the way the gem works or the skill works. And then here we have a active skill gem, lightning, chain lightning, basically arc from Path of Exile. Quick cast, I have faster casting with arc, and then I have cast on cast, which I love when games have. I wish Path of Exile really had cast on cast. Instead of like cast on crit and things like that, because usually there's no spell on spell in Path of Exile as easily as it is here. So basically the way this works is I have Frost Thorn, some sort of ice bolt is being casted when I cast lightning chain. So you know, you can see that, and I could have another like few damage support here, and changing the way that works, and then I could have another there. So you know, you see there's quite a lot of customization there, and that's just for that one skill. And then I have a summon here, then my summon, and this is the what I'm like currently using to clear, and honestly it's carrying me pretty hard right now. So I have additional poison damage, multi-shot, minion speed, fine weakness, and the fine weakness is linked to both bursting rune knight and my poison arrow abyssling. And then additional fire damage is on my bursting rune knight too. And I could technically get like minion speed or another support gem down here. And I could easily just move. Oh, I can't move in the screen. I could move the teleport down here to make some more space. So you have some cool customization here, and later in game you can unlock these side slots there. Unlike Path of Exile, skill gems don't level up. You actually have to level up skill gems yourself. It's called rune growth. So it'll cost these earth elements. I think there are others as well that you can get. And you just choose which ones you level up. So, and they'll be based on your stats and stuff like that as well. Other things that are quite cool. This is a little bit similar to Grim Dawn. You have stats in the middle. So this is very, very basic dex strength and int. So I might want like a little bit more life and a little bit more int. This is also for like leveling gems. Maybe I'll need some dexterity for some gear. And then we have the Zodiac system. So it starts and you have to choose one level 1 skill, right? Or one level 1 Zodiac. So I went for minion, and once I've put 5 points in here, I unlock level 2. Now I could have chosen the other ones too, which is, you know, caster stuff or attack stuff. So, you know, you always have a choice in each one. There will always be minion things in each Zodiac, and there will always be caster or attack stuff in each one, and totem. So you move through like that. Now I'm at level 6 is the last one I've taken, and I have no skill points left to place. And then I unlock basically the Ascendancy, whereas I went for Darkness, which is +1 Abyssling summon count. And then I got Overpower, which, if I understood it right, it was basically really good for non-crit. Like, you can't crit as much, you do a lot more damage. And then you go further here later once I have 45 points. So very, very similar to Ascendancy points in Path of Exile, which is kind of cool. And a decent system for that. It wasn't too hard to figure out either once you realize the way it works. gear, it has a new system that's supposed to be slightly less complicated. So I'm playing hardcore right now. There is a benefit to playing hardcore in this game. You get better drops and more drops. They also have an origin mode, which I think you have less or more limited crafting. And it's supposed to be like a drop mode. So you can play with like the full intended crafting system, kind of similar to Path of Exile. A lot of people said it's better than Path of Exile, and I could see why. Because it's a lot more deterministic, and a lot of people like that. Uniques can also be legendary, which means that they do have a few extra stats. Kind of similar to Last Epoch's legendary potential, but I would say a worse version. It's rather hard to tell what's a legendary unique and what's just a normal legendary as a new player. So that was a bit weird, and it seems just it would be better just to split that. So a cool thing with crafting is that you can like, there's some things similar to Essence. I don't even know if I have those. To this one, yeah, it's this one. This will just guarantee any stat you want. And then the other ones will be randomized. And then this one, if I understand right, I can add that I want like, I want HP, I want elemental resists, and it'll craft until it hits that. Oh, until it hits either. So now it had elemental resist. And now it had HP. So it'll just like keep crafting until it hits that. So, you know, you could technically put like really high and higher tiers too, and be like, this is all the things I want, and then it'll keep auto crafting until you get that. And it is actually a pretty robust crafting system. You can upgrade it to legendaries, etc., and there's like a lot of crafting orbs. There does seem to be a lot, but it's surprisingly not that complicated. So it has a automatic potion system similar to instilling herbs in Path of Exile. So I can have here, the potion here is used when I'm 60% HP. The mana potion here is used when I'm 30% mana. And I don't think this can be auto used. It's some sort of event thing. So yeah, you have potions you can use like that. It's also I could do movement speed elixir here. That I can just use every now and again if I want, or I could use it manually. So honestly, that is a pretty good system. It's made it feel pretty fluid. I haven't had many mana issues in this game. Gear's been pretty easy to figure out, and so is my build and stuff. And there's quite a lot of different builds. Like, if we can go to the rune shop here. So you have active gems, and then you have like, you know, strength, dex, intelligence gems, and then you have a lot of support gems, etc. And then there are different acts, and you can, similar to Path of Exile, buy different gems from different acts. And like I said, there are some drop-only ones. And yeah, right now minions are apparently very strong, and other patches there will be other things, right? It'll be like most ARPGs with the different metas. Loads of cool boss fights and stuff during the campaign, and normal monsters have been complete pushovers. I've never felt in danger from normal monster. I'm starting to get slightly squishier now at the end. But I also haven't upgraded my gear much in like 20 levels, mostly been equipping uniques I find. Bosses, however, I've had several close calls. I have not actually died yet, but several close calls to some of the bosses, so they're really cool. I do feel like it has really good impact, and sounds and stuff like that have been like at a level that's fine for me. The loot here has been a little bit boring to find. Like, legendaries and uniques are a little bit interesting, but at least the loot at lower levels have not been that fun. Now, I haven't tried actual endgame myself yet. I don't feel like that's been that important, because I have quite enjoyed the game itself, right? So I'm already quite happy with the game. And from what I'm hearing, Don the Crown has been telling me loads about the endgame. It has one system that looks similar to like synthesis, and like really cool with maps and stuff. And I think you have 2 different map systems, and then you have a lot of different boss things, and you have like a boss gauntlet that keeps increasing in difficulty, it seems. So there is quite a lot to do at the end game, and a lot of it looks fun, and some of it's supposed to be very difficult. Some things that are like people haven't even done yet, from what I'm hearing. So that's pretty cool. And honestly, it is worth giving a shout out to Don the Crown, and go check him out and ask him more about endgame stuff, and he does play it a lot more. So go there for even more information, and you can see him doing the endgame content and things like that, and that would be an even more informed point of view than mine. But at least the game is moving in a better direction. I still think they should remove some of it. Quite a lot of cool things about the game, like a lot of different builds you can do. The campaign is decent. I haven't paid attention to the storyline at all, but you know, it just decent density and stuff, and it feels quite fun to play. If the monetization went a little bit better, I would like to see the monetization go down to like what I would consider a 3 out of 10 or 4 out of 10. Like, I don't mind a game having like some things, but it's like, I don't know. I really hate any speed up mechanics being in a game. The reason for that is I feel like the developer becomes very easily incentivized to make the non-premium or the non-paid experience worse, right? That's always the number one bad thing in a game, if you're wondering why I'm so critical. I'll continue to be very harsh against monetization in games. It is a lot better now. That's why I wanted to try it out again and see. But yeah, still has what I consider not ideal monetization. Very fun game. Definitely not bad to check out if you're bored while waiting for the PoE launch. It is also worth mentioning that Undecember has a like rootkit that it installs on your PC, which a lot of people don't want, right? It's basically an anti-cheat and it gets a lot of access over your PC. Now, this is similar to a lot of other games you play, like Escape from Tarkov, Apex Legends, Lost Ark, Valorant, etc. So, you know, probably if you're okay with those games, then it's probably not a big deal. But if you don't want a rootkit on your computer, completely understandable. So either way, I hope you guys enjoy me checking out games like this and reviewing them. And just in case somebody asked, this was not sponsored. I haven't been sponsored by them. I got sponsored, but that was when it was absolutely fucking garbage and not worth playing at all. And it's at least getting better now. So thanks for watching. Let me know any feedback on my game reviews. And if you liked the video, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.